Final Fantasy has always been super intriguing to myself. Even though I'm not the biggest fan in the world of the franchise, I can certainly respect what they've built over time. Final Fantasy, guys, I want to talk about in this segment of the show because I want to talk about a gaming franchise that is one of the most consistent video game franchises of all time. And I don't think there's really any debate about it. So let's talk about it. So guys, look. Final Fantasy has never been one of those franchises that I play religiously or that I play every single game that comes out. I've had friends of mine, cousins of mine, who are really big into the franchise. I've watched them play. I've played myself some of these additions to the franchise. But what really gets me about this franchise is how consistent they've been. Now, every single game, it seems like they're just raising the bar consistently every single time they bring out a new Final Fantasy. And up to this point, they have 15 Final Fantasy games amongst many different film adaptations. They have a number of, of course, expansions and things of that nature. I want to talk about, this is a gaming franchise that dates back to 1987, guys. And they have had a number of additions to the franchise that have come up as time's gone, and our latest one was back in 2016, which I think a lot of questions lie, are they going to be making more soon? Because it's been a number of years since they made a Final Fantasy game. I know a lot of people would love to see a continuation. They're doing a lot of remakes and things of that nature, so that's probably what's keeping them busy. But I think a lot of us want to see the continuation of this franchise just because of how consistent they've been. It's really impressive. Now, what I will say is that I compare what Final Fantasy has built to what Call of Duty is building. Because Call of Duty, guys, when we talk about consistency, whether you like all the games or you don't, some of the games you don't like or you don't like any of them at all, you have to respect what Call of Duty's done. And I think Final Fantasy is second to Call of Duty when we talk about consistency in video games. Call of Duty has been coming out with a new game every single year, and they're consistently trying to, raise the bar as they go. They might have some hiccups along the way, some games that aren't quite as good, but every year you can be assured you're going to get another Call of Duty game. Final Fantasy, guys, between 1987 and now, you're talking 15 games, probably going on 16 games at this point. And so that stretch of time is longer than that of Call of Duty, because this is, of course, with Final Fantasy dating back to 1987. So what I'll say is this. It doesn't just come down to the amount of games that you're making every single year. What it comes down to is a number of things. Is that sustainable? Is these games consistently raising the bar over time? And I think we can say with Call of Duty is, sure, they've had certain, slumps along the way, but they've been consistently going up over time. The same can be said with Final Fantasy. You might have a game or two that don't do quite as well as the rest, but it's consistently, the franchise is constantly growing over time, and with time is coming bigger fan bases, more revenues for the developers and the publishers. And overall, guys, these are stories that we can play for, for generations to come as these continue. I think Final Fantasy, similar to Call of Duty, is a franchise that needs to continue. It's not one that should slow down anytime soon, should just, end at any point. I think doing remakes is a great thing for Final Fantasy, but I also want to see continuations of the franchise. You look at a number of Final Fantasy fans, and the amount of hours that they've put into the games is unreal. I mean, it's unprecedented to a lot of other games out there. It's a very passionate fan base. People absolutely love this style of games. And like I said, you've had so many remakes. You're having spin-offs. You're having sequels to this franchise that really keeps people coming back to the games and continuing to play these remakes and these sequels and these spin-offs. The question is Final Fantasy going to slow down at any point? Or are they just going to continue similar to Call of Duty? Just keep on moving forward, moving ahead? Because what I can say, guys, as I said, this is one of the most consistent video game franchises of all time. And I want to see a series like this continue over time, because I think that it's obviously a franchise that deserves to coexist with the rest of gaming. It's a fantastic game as well, as far as just from a viewership perspective, from playing wise, the story is so rich and such. some of it is actually kind of intimidating. It kind of reminds me of like World of Warcraft, where you know, if you're just jumping into the story, you almost have to play those older ones to understand kind of what's going on at times. And sometimes that can be a little bit, you know, at times you might feel to yourself that, hey, you know, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to start playing it because I have to, you know, start from the very beginning, and it's very, you know, gruesome because when you look at it, it's, you know, 15 games at this point. That's a lot of games in a franchise. And so Final Fantasy, though, guys, as I said, very special franchise, and I think it needs to continue, and I'll definitely be making more videos as we go here talking about Final Fantasy 16 and what the future might hold for this franchise. But I want to know from all of you guys, what do you guys think are the most consistent games in video game history? Let me know in the comment section below. I gave you 2 of the tops for me, that being Final Fantasy and Call of Duty. But I mean, we could put a number of other games in there. You could talk about the sporting games like MLB The Show or Madden or a number of other games. Let me know what your guys' top 3 are in the comment section below. And for more Final Fantasy content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.